It's stressing me out. What has just fell apart in there now? Now that my Volkswagen Transporter is in San Marino Blue, freshly painted, it's now time to get it fully rebuilt and make it look like a van again. Please do excuse the state of my voice, but it's been a long journey to get this van to where it is today. Plenty of filling, sanding, priming, and it's all led to getting the paint on, and eventually it's now time to get it built back up again. It's been a mammoth journey so far, and finally it's going to start all coming together now when I start to build it back up, and we can finally get this thing kitted out so I can make use of it this summer. That is the end goal, and hopefully we can start to see that appearing now. As you can see, the whole back of the van is just completely full of stuff off the outside of the van. There's various different tubs with bolts and screws and everything that I took off a long time ago. So I'm not actually 100% sure where any of it goes. However, I think I've found the box of screws and stuff that I'm after first, which is to tackle the passenger door. Right, to start with building it back up, I'm actually going to take something off. I'm going to remove the lock because the handle carrier needs to go in first. Careful of my little rod for the lock, not to take it out of the actual lock mechanism itself. Gently does it. So that's back out. Now I have found this bracket, which I'm not entirely sure where it goes, but by a search of the part number, I have found out through a photograph on eBay that it just simply clicks into, they say simply, here. Yeah, look at that. The wonders of technology. Right, so the handle carrier needs to go in first because this, one of the bolts for the lock, goes through there, through the handle carrier, and through into the lock from there. This handle carrier is just held on by just one little 25 torque bolt from the outside. Correction, it's a 20 torques bolt, not a 25. And now the lock can go back in. Need to be careful because it's got this little cable for the handle to pull on. That needs to be fed through the handle carrier, and also I need to get that lock rod back through, which is going to be even harder with the handle carrier in place now. That's working, and I just need to feed my little cable through, which I've not got the smallest fingers in the world to get into. In fact, I've probably got the fattest fingers you could ever possibly need for this. And it's through, perfect. Now let's get a door handle in. I'm going to start off by popping the gasket back on. The other gasket actually goes on the handle, like so. Pop that in there. A bit tighter now, there's paint on it, obviously. Flick it in. As you can see, like I said before, here is a little bit of cable. So when you pull that just to it takes up the slack, and then pop it in there. Get a new freshly painted cap to go into the other part of the door handle. Pop him on. Slot him in like so. So when I pop this screw in the inside, that should release the springy part. There we are, that was a good sound. Yeah, look at that. Just to try it. Yep, she's working. Right, next, I think we need some window channels. What do you think? Corner's the easiest part to start with. Gives you a reference point. So you want to basically reverse engineer all this because it's been that long since you stripped it that I can't remember how it goes back together. Right, that's in. I think now, if I remember correctly, the glass goes in next. I'm not 100% sure, we'll figure it out. Now I have actually got a brand new, genuine door glass there. I got given. It was lying in the store, I don't know where it came from. So I may as well put that brand new one in the van. It also means if I drop it and smash it, I've also got a spare. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll put the regulator in first, because that is just going to drop as soon as I put that in. As I said, it has been a long time since I stripped this. Now everything, like the window regulator and the speaker and the whole lot, and the wiring, is all in this one big panel that goes inside the door. It is pretty dusty, so I'm going to give it a blow off with an airline, and then before I put this back in, I'm going to give the inside of the door a bit of a dusting with some wax oil, you know, just particularly in the corners, prevent some corrosion, and prevention's better than cure, you know. future proofing. Ah, see that bracket that we put on before? Turns out the lock, the handle carry and everything is meant to all stay attached to this. As you can see, that's some rivets that are meant to be attached to there. Oh well, we know for next time. This is just held in with a load of handful of 10mm. Need to also remember to plug the lock in. Need to also remember to shove the cable for the handle through its hole. Right, so all of that is in place. Need to get the wires into the actual car now, or van. Need to put the old accordion style gator back on. I think it goes this way around. Oh wow, that is going to be difficult to get those through there. If I get one through, I can pull the other one through. Why are you not clicking back in? Come on, behave yourself. Nope, not quite. Come on. Got the wrong way round or something. See if I put this on the wrong way round. I might have, you know. Oh, now I've got that stuck in there. Right, round two. That just doesn't want to go in. Never thought I'd be defeated by just something as simple as this, like. This is hellish. Right, you know what? Ultimate procrastination, forget the wires just now, roll in with the glass again. And now the window won't go in because it's hitting the regulator. You could not make this up. So anyway, moral of the story is, if you're going to strip something apart, rebuild it in such a time frame that you will remember how it goes back together. Don't be like me. What I'm going to do to get past this problem is, I'm going to take the speaker out. It's 4 screws there. As you can see, there's the 10mm bolts for the brackets that hold the window to the regulator. Take this motor out, which is just 325 Torx, take that out, and then the regulator will move by itself. And I'll take it down a bit, put the window in, push it back up, put the motor back in, screw these up, speaker back in, job's a good one. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your auntie. Right, so what's happened now is, just had insult to injury, is these are aftermarket speakers that somebody's fitted, and they've very, very badly soldered them to the connectors on there, and I've just ripped the connectors straight off of them. This day just gets better. Right, regulator's down, let's try the window now. Hey, there we are. So what I need to do now is push this regulator back up with the window in it to where I can access the bolt holes. Feels good about there. What has just fell apart in there now? Me, man. The window was hitting something, then it fell apart, whatever it was. In the words of Harvey Price, what a day.
Oh, what a day.
Guess what fell out? Yeah. So since this thing is practically redundant, I know what I'm doing with it. I'm just glad that was discovered before everything went back together and the door was entirely built up. Now what am I going to do with this wiring? I mean, there's literally spade connectors on there. Why would you not just use them? Right, I have managed to find some spade connectors. We shall install some on here. These wires are corroded, like, really badly. So actually got to be any good wire in here. Oh, maybe there is. Maybe there is. One installed. I thought now would be a perfect time to interrupt and say that if you haven't subscribed already, then please remember to hit that subscribe button. The quicker I hit 1,000 subs, then the quicker I can start making money on YouTube, and also the quicker I get to Turkey and do something about that. Thanks again to everyone that's already subscribed, and please do remember to hit that subscribe button. Cheers. 2 installed. Let's fire the speaker back in. There we are. Disaster averted. Interior, where I'm moving next. Keep the weather out. The exterior one now, I'm going to give this just a little bit of glass cleaner to help the rubber on, because they can be a bit tight sometimes. My window channel needs to come down slightly. There we are, that will keep the weather out. Now we need to build this mirror up, so we'll go on first with the housing. There we are, like so. Followed by this black trim, after I give it a clean off because it's disgusting. This big black trim kind of clamps the two of them together. It clips into both, like that. I'm going to give this a clean before it goes back in because it is also disgusting. In fact, it's actually covered in overspray. Don't know how, but it is. Let's scrape all that off. A lot better now it's not covered in overspray. One fully built mirror, ready to go in the van again. Now this may be a bit tricky to do myself without any help. I really don't want the mirror to fall off and land on the floor and break. That would be highly unfortunate. You get just one of the bolts in the back. I feel like that grommet is the wrong way around. How's that? Such an odd way to have the grommet. Lovely cheese, grommet. That would be a lot easier if it was the other way around, but hey ho. Right, all that's left is that door card, and then this door is finished apart from them stupid wires. Now if you own a T5, chances are these are either already broken or they have been broken in the past. And that's why I've got some brand new ones off eBay. See if they're any good and see if they fit good. Because these were just self-tapered on before in this van. So, I'm going to spruce it up a bit. Old one removed. Now it'd be criminal not to clean in behind here whilst we're already here. I'm going to clean the whole rest of the door trim, by the way, just once everything's finished. Hold her in. Not going to lie, they're not a great fit. Yeah, these ones sit a bit flusher, a little bit nicer. One of them ones are actually maybe for a facelift T5, possibly. Don't know what to do with them. Might leave them out just now and think about it. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them back, because I found some other ones on Amazon directly with the part number, and I don't know, they just look like they fit a bit better. They're the original style there as well. Like, they were meant to be one kind of big cap over the top of the grab handle, whereas these ones, you know, they've got that cutout with a kind of trim that goes in the inside of there. The whole thing, originally, this was one big cap. So they look a bit more OEM and what they're kind of supposed to be, so I might send these back and buy these. I'll go with that. I will hang the door trim on, I'll just not put them in. I've got a load of these fresh, new Volkswagen clips to go in the door trim, because if you've ever took a VAG door trim off before, you'll know that these are a pain in the arse and they only work once. So I've got loads of brand new ones here. Now I've got no grab handle, I've got nothing to hold on to whilst I'm trying to get this door trim on. Right, that's the door trim on. Right, so that is one door, basically majority built. I'm going to order them new grab handles and fit them, and I'll muck about with them wires, because you don't want to sit and watch me piss about with them for hours on end and get angry with them. I'll come back another day and I'll do the same for the other side. Was also a race against time because the GoPro's on 2% battery. The following weekend. Right, so today is another day and we're back again. I'm going to build up this door now and I'm going to stick it in a time lapse because you've already seen me get angry enough doing the other side. So you don't really want to see it twice, do you? So I'll stick it in a time lapse for you. Just put all this in and forgot the window channel. And once again, Mr. Speaker Installer has struck again. So I need to find some more spade connectors and connect them back up. Great. Now before I sort that mess out with the speakers, I'm going to install the mirror and the weather moldings and stuff first, because it will be easier to get the wiring through for the mirror if I can get my hand in through that speaker hole and pull the wires through here. So you know, that's joined up thinking. Now when I install the mirror, it is going to look like this, because I don't want to name names, but somebody taped the mirror cover onto the stand when it was painted with masking tape instead of duct tape, and basically when the oven went on to bake, the heat hit up the glue that held the masking tape onto the mirror cover, and basically it fell off when it was on bake. So it's gonna have to get painted again, actually for the third time, because the first time we painted it you could still see some stone chips in it, so then we painted it again when we painted, you know, the outside of the van, and then that happened, which was my fault. So it's gonna get painted again. Right, that's one door basically fully built up. As you may notice, I've done the same with the other side. I've left that grab handle out because I did order some other ones. Obviously I had them other ones last week when I filmed the first part of the video. And I ordered these other ones off Amazon. And I don't know if you can just see this, but the plastic mould is just awful and it just feels so light and cheap. I've tried them in and they also don't fit. So they're getting swiftly returned back, much like the first ones are. I might even have to go OEM and get some actual factory ones. Because as you can see, they've seen better days. I don't really want to use them. I'd like to use some nice fresh ones, but Volkswagen will probably be very, very expensive to replace these. But I might just have to bite the bullet and buy them. I'm going to put all this wiring back in and plug the door in. If you've ever ran the wires out of a T5 door, you'll know that normally these two plugs here are an absolute nightmare to get to. But thankfully, I've got all this stuff out the road, because I had to obviously get into the hinges to unbolt the door and unbolt the hinges for respraying it. So that's giving me plenty of room to plug these in, so I may as well utilise it. Right, so moment of truth, I've got a jump pack on, ignition on. Look at that. We've got windows. What about the other side? Yeah. And mirrors. Yeah, happy days. It's just annoying me about this grab handle situation. It's just that's all that's needed to finish that off, and it's one thing done. It's a shame that every single replacement seems to be absolutely awful. If you know of a decent set of replacements for these grab handles, then please let me know in the comments, because these ones are getting sent back through the Suez Canal at Mach 2 straight back to China, because they're absolutely terrible. Right, I think now's a good time to tackle one of the jobs that I've been least looking forward to. The tailgate. Now I'm going to start off with what I'm sure is going to be a very, very easy task. You saw how hard it was to get them wires through that rubber trunking for the front doors, that when the rubber trunking was actually that size. Need to get all the wires through that. So this is going to be fun. Right, so struggling Albion with that already. I've got this rod that I was going to use to pull the wires through the tailgate, but I might just need to use that to pull them through that rubber gator anyway. So what I'm going to do is take the rod, fire it through the gator like so. I'm going to get the end of my wires, and what I'm going to do is tape these together and draw them through. Try and pull this back through. Stuck somewhere. Oh, I can feel it going through slowly but surely. Stuck somewhere else now. This is the smallest of the plugs, by the way, so this is going to be an absolute mission. I can feel where it's stuck. That's the smallest of the plugs. It's just, you can see it pushing out through the trunk in there. Come on, nearly. It's almost there. You can see it. You can literally see it. Right, so that is the smallest of the wires through. God knows what we're going to do when we get to that one. Oh, this one back here as well. Right, here goes nothing. You know when you see those videos of snakes eating like whole deers by themselves? That's what that looks like now. Hey, there we are, finally. Absolutely no word of a lie, I've probably been at that for half an hour to get that one singular plug through there. What an absolute nightmare that was. This one is going to be even harder because there's a lot more wires in there now. Wish me luck. That was an absolute complete mission. Holy sh**, cramping my hands as well. Just trying to manhandle that all the way through that. Okay, so that one's actually surprisingly easy. I just taped it up to the rest of the cables that were already through, and then just lubed it up with some glass cleaner, and it pulled straight through. I've just got one left, and that's the high level brake light one. Thankfully it's got a small one, so hopefully it should be alright. Right, so that's all the wires through. Funnily enough, that last one was actually really easy, it just came straight through. However, things are about to get harder again, because if you've ever pulled the wires through one of these T5 tailgates, you'll know they're an absolute nightmare to get back in. This is going to be fun, because once we got these through, hopefully we can start building all the rest of this up. This is what I'm on about. It's literally, it's stuck somewhere about here, I would say, and there's just no chance of that getting through. So I'm just going to batter on and try and get these wires through, because it's ruining my day, shall we say. Right, what's happened is I have actually managed to get them wires completely and utterly stuck in there. I can't even pull them back out, they're literally wedged in. So to save the frustration, and because I've probably got ADHD, I'm going to head over here and try and build up this little grab handle for the tailgate and start installing some components into the tailgate once I figure out what I'm going to do with that wire and I can pull it through. Right, so I took this apart and I did take a photo on my phone how it all went together. There's a little spring in here I've taped to this pin, if I can get it apart. It's that secure I can't even get it apart. I need to speak to Mr. Stanley, the bluntest Stanley blade in the world. That little spring is buried in here somewhere. This is ridiculous, who taped this up? Right, so I found the photograph that I took Let's see if we can try and recreate that with all these parts. So first we'll get that obviously. Him gently through there. Oh, that's the wrong way around. You idiot. Plug that through in such a way that you're not going to scratch it. Take the pin. I need to put the spring on there as well. Which way does the spring go? That way. And then there's a little hole there that that bit of the spring hooks into in there to keep it taut and tensioned. Come on. Fire the pin basically through first, I think. There we are. And then flip that over there, so that's tensioned. Just need to tap that in with something. I'm using an extension because it's the nearest thing. Oh, and the springs came off. Right, pop the spring back on again. There we are. Perfect. Just put the little... Oh no, wait a minute. I've forgotten something. Got this tiny little collar that I forgot. I'm gonna have to take it back apart again. I am not having fun with this thing today. It has been a long time since I took this all apart, and as you can tell, it's stressing me out. Right, so with the little collar installed now, as you can see, that's working well. Got the little security wee clip. Next I've got the lock barrel. We'll fire him in. This is a bit easier than some of the rest of it. Literally just pops in there. Actually, I don't know if it's sided. Yes, it is. Pops in that way, and then we've got a clip that just goes over the top of that. Oh, he said it's going to be easier. There we are. So that's locked in and gone nowhere. Now before I go about trying to fire that handle in, I'm going to protect the edges around here because these things are going to be very, very fiddly to get in. And the last thing I want to do is scratch the paintwork. Can never be too cautious. Proving difficult already. I wonder if I pop the lock barrel out again, whether that'll make it easier. Whether I'll be able to get it back in on the other side, however, it's a different story. Right, so it goes in fine. Oh, there we are. It goes in fine without the lock barrel, and I'm about to take the camera out. Actually, hold on a minute. I could just snap this lock barrel in from the back. Hold that, and then hopefully if I just push this, there we are, he's in. Now the next component is actually this lock mechanism, which I had to order. It didn't actually come out of this van, because this van never actually locked when I got it. Now to get this in, I do actually need to plug in my lock first, which my wires are stuck in the tailgate, so I might have another muck about with them and see if I can get them through. If I can't, then the next shot you're going to see is the number plate plinth, not number plate plinth, number plate light, what would you call it? Number plate light holder getting installed. Right, so you're currently looking at the number plate carrier for the van, so you can take a well-educated guess as to what kind of state the wiring's in for the tailgate. Now I've got these new LED number plate lights for the van, and you can probably guess where these came from. Yep,
China.
So hopefully these are going to work and fit. Although just looking at them there, I might have to bend the little pins slightly. It's just pushing the terminals out the back of that, out the back of the actual carrier. So I'm probably going to have to manipulate these in some way, shape or form to make these fit as well. Right, so I've managed to manipulate one to the point where it looks like it's in. Obviously I'm not going to know if they're working until I put power to them, because LEDs are obviously light emitting diodes, and if you don't know what a diode is, a diode effectively only lets current pass through it one way, so you have to get the polarity the right round. They're not like a normal bulb. Like a normal bulb will light up no matter what way you light it. LEDs have got to be the right way round, so I'm not going to know until I put power to it. However, I don't want to fully send the number plate light carrier into the tailgate and then find out later on that I've got to take it back out because I've put them on the wrong way. The plug for the number plate light carrier hasn't got stuck inside the tailgate yet, so what I'll do is I'll just attach it to that once I've got the other one in and see if they work. Fingers crossed, because everything else in this video has been a disaster so far, so we could do with some good luck. Right, so that's number 2 installed. Let's find the wiring for the number plate light carrier, plug this in and see if we've finally got some good luck for today. Try and set that in a way so it doesn't scratch anything. Wish me luck, because I need it. I've even put the jump pack on just to be sure. Here goes. 3, 2, 1. The run of bad luck continues. Well, it's getting power, it's getting 12 volts. Don't know if you'll see my multimeter there. So yep, it's definitely something I've done. Great. Right, so I've turned one of the lights around and the lights are on in the van, so yep, nothing. Absolutely nothing. These duds, these not work. Am I not getting a good connection in there? It's in like. Gonna try another test. Here's a test, and to be honest, this might result in the number plate light being blown up. But hey ho, let's give it a go. Make sure they work. Nope. Jump pack says no. Let's see if I put straight 12 volts to it. It's trying to do something, but it's barely working. Let's try the other way around. Nah, nothing that way. I mean, let's try to do something, but the LEDs are terrible. I catch that in the camera. Those LEDs are doing absolutely nothing. Let's try the other one. Oh! Right, that one's bright. So that one works with the jump pack. The other one doesn't, however. Nearly burned my retinas out when that came out. It's very bright. Yeah, so that one works. Double check the other one again. Nothing now from that one. Absolutely nothing. Yep, this one's died to death. Barely. You can just see it. Just and no more. Right. This one's going in a one-way ticket back to China. So I've just checked, and these are also getting power, so it is the number plate lights. They're just a complete fit, and one of them's a dud. So I might just revert to factory ones because they are just awful. They're not going to work. The actual fitting that they use to try and get them installed, like to get a connection, is pretty terrible as well for Volkswagen, to be honest. But hey ho, this has been a bit of a disaster. Nothing's happened with the tailgate really. Spent the last 2 hours in here just mucking about with this and achieved absolutely nothing, but got myself stuck with some wiring. Brilliant. So I think I'm just going to chuck a load of miscellaneous bits on just to make myself feel better and feel like I've achieved something today. Oh no, that's summed up the day I'm having. I've just filled that full of wax oil and then just get the wires through for the tail lamps. Oh, hopefully I can get them on my hook so that my hands don't end up getting absolutely caked in wax oil. What an absolute nightmare I'm having today. Right, the wiring's through, but it is covered in wax oil. Brilliant. Lovely. Now that's all over my hands. One vent back in, we've achieved something today. Right, this time we're going to go for pulling the wiring through first, because that's obviously a clever thing to do. Come on. There we are. A success. A singular success for today. This day is just getting even better because I've just found, went to go and find my bumper brackets, my modified bumper brackets. By modified I mean cut in half, by the way. It's just to make them fit this new, what was it, Max Design bumper that I've got. So yeah, there's one for one side. And then I went to go get the other one. Something's been sat on top of it and it's broken. We'll not be defeated. I'll plastic weld that back together. So I'm going to start off by doing this, getting it in the right place. That's always a good start. Then I'm going to get a couple of tacks on it, just like so, some of the cracks like there and there. Maybe even one down there. Could even chuck a couple on the inside as well. Sorry, that's not the inside, that's the outside. My apologies. Get my plastic welding rod next. And try and feed that in there to try and melt it back together. Don't breathe this shit in. Probably shorten your life considerably. Just gonna gently melt that back down a bit so it gets a bit of grip. Probably fine as it is, but can never be too careful. Ow, burnt myself there. That's looking better already. I think there's one last bit and that'll do it. It's going to be a bit awkward to get actually. Like better in the vise. That will do the job, I think. Now for putting these bumper brackets on, they're held on by little clips that go into these little plastic inserts I've got in this bag. I had to order a load of these from TPS, and for what they were actually quite expensive. They're just little things that just pop in these holes over here. Like so. Obviously stops the water getting in. And you just fire these push center clips through the bracket into there. Probably shouldn't use the end of a trim tool to do that, but I am past caring for today. You couldn't write this today. I've literally forgotten to put the little insert in behind there. Now the bracket's on. Let's see if I can squeeze it in. I think it's time I should probably go home, to be honest. Things aren't going well today. One bracket on, and I'm going to do the same for the other side. Right, so I think I'm going to leave it for today's episode so I don't end up making an absolute marathon monster episode for you to watch. So yeah, everything I touched today basically turned to shit. That sometimes happens whilst working on cars or indeed vans. But hey ho, we move on, move forward, we find solutions to these problems, and we'll get there in the end up, I'm sure. So if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to hit the like button. If you want to let me know your thoughts, then drop a comment down below, please. And if you want to follow this build and see what else I got up to with the van, just remember hit the subscribe button. Thank you, and I'll see you again.